I spent the first of my life experiencing trauma, the second part of it, healing from trauma, and now I'm helping others heal from trauma. In this episode, we're going to be discussing how to be yourself. And we are live. Hi. Welcome to the Rosabeth Mooon Motivation channel. How are you doing today? I'm doing really well. Welcome to my new setup. What do you think? This channel, I really want it to be more of like a, hey, let's sit down, let's chat about some self-help practices. And I feel like this place I feel like this setup is going to help me achieve that goal a lot better because it is more welcoming instead of what I explained in the last episode, episode 13, change. And as you'll see, I do have a woolly Malamute. His name is Alistair Cerberus. He is allowed in this part of the studio, and he'll be popping in and out of the screen now from time to time because he's part of the chit chat crew, right? Yeah, so in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to be yourself. And this is a really, really good topic to talk about in Self-Help 101 because through finding myself, I was able to create this type of environment where I have a filming studio and I can do everything that I want. And also, I can be myself. So I really wanted to talk about this topic today in this new format because it's really more about me being myself. I had a really hard time in school being myself. I was the goth kid. I had red hair down to my waist and I really had the leave me alone goth aesthetic. Middle school, I was the emo scene kid with the hair bangs that went completely across the head. And then in elementary school, I was the redneck rock girl that really listened to Nickelback and Daughtry and those type of sounds, right? This type of music, but I also wore camo and cowgirl boots and, rode four-wheelers and did all that stuff. And that's not normal for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have that same experience. And I realized at a really young age that it's incredibly, incredibly important to be yourself, even if others don't like it. Here's the thing. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about 3 things on how to be yourself and how I was able to remain being myself, but not only that, really finding love and confidence in myself. If you asked me a year ago if I could sit in a sitting position on a camera for a show to help people, I would have said you're out of your mind. And in today's episode, we're doing just that. So let's get right in to these how to be yourself tips and tricks. Lesson number 1 on how to be yourself is first, understand and completely be okay with the fact that people are going to be upset about it. Number 1, okay? Here's where this comes from. What I learned through being myself and doing my own things is that people really sometimes tend to absolutely hate it. And I'm unsure if it's because in society, the way that we're programmed, the way they grow up is to be a part of the pack and fit the pack, or you're excluded from the pack. And so I really wanted to bring this up as the first point because there's a high chance that it'll happen. Here's the key though, for you. Instead of reacting in a sense of, oh, I can't be myself, I can't actually do this anymore, I'm going to go back and hide and become everybody else. Instead of having that reaction, now that you know this fact, you can either do 2 things. You can respond to them and simply say a comeback. Say, listen, I'm being my best self, and I hope that you become your best self too. Thank you. Right? Or 2, you can let them keep wallowing away in their own misery of not being themselves. And you can move on and remain happy and confident that, listen, I'm my best self and I know this. I'm my true self and I know this. I found myself and I'm going to keep pushing. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. So step number 1, it's going to happen. People are going to hate, and it is fine. Understand that it will be okay. Before we jump into the next one, though, I do want to give a good shout out to Moon Magic Botanicals over at rosabethmoon.com. It's a natural skincare company that I designed for myself. I designed it for my combination skin because I was so fed up that I couldn't find anything on the market for it. So I went to herbalism school. I got training in it. And then I formulated my own custom formula for my skin. And it literally went crazy. Everybody started wanting it. And so I've created a natural skin moisturizer for skin. So feet, elbows, skin, arms. Why can I not think of body parts? Legs, knees. Anywhere that needs the intense hydration, this is going to be your go-to. And I'll be completely honest, I'm not like the standard generic skincare company where I'm going to lie to you and push this down your throat. All I'm simply going to do is tell you that if you have dry skin, if you have sensitive skin, my Moon Magic Botanicals will help you. That's it. It helped me. It helped my sister with cystic acne. It helped my mom with psoriasis. It helped my poppy with bunions on his feet, right? It's really, really great. And that's our little shout out. Step number 2 in how to become yourself is create some type of visual that really you feel inside of you that that's the character you want to portray. Here's what I mean. In this life, we are our own characters. Think of us as like a sim or a character. My man's playing GTA right now in the hype of the new game. And he designed his character to look like him, and I designed my characters to look like me. So think of yourself and visualize exactly what type of character you would like to put together. For me, and here's what I mean. I realized that the type of character that made me feel the most like myself was wearing black clothes, wearing jewelry, having my nails done, having my hair done, doing my makeup in this really specific kind of darker way instead of the traditional on top of the eyelids way. I really was able to truly hone in on the visuals that I wanted to become. And the great tools. There are great tools online for this. You can go to Canva and you can create collages of different looks that you like. You can go to Pinterest and create go to Pinterest and create a Pinterest board where you can call it your aesthetic, and it'll actually have an algorithm where it'll pop out more ideas for you. I had one of these. It was called When I Lose Weight, When I Lose My Weight clothing, because if you haven't watched, I believe is episode 9, I lost 86 pounds and I'm still going. And so my true self and who I want to become and how to be myself changed at the same time, because I started putting clothing and outfits and visuals and makeup and ideas together on a vision board and looked at it every single day. So tip number 2 is to visualize exactly what you want yourself to be. And then the last tip on how to be yourself is to sit with yourself. This is something that was really genuinely scary for me to do, because when I sat with myself, I didn't want to hear what thoughts were going on in my head. I didn't want to hear about exactly how my brain felt about my body. I'll be honest. I didn't want to see in the mirror what it was in the mirror. I didn't want to. So what I did was I decided it must be incredibly important to actually sit down with myself and to ask myself, who am I? I know that I am a goth. I know that I love metal music, but I also know that I'm an eclectic. I know that I love different types of music like lo-fi. I really enjoy violins. And then I was like, okay, well, who really am I on a more of a personal level? Well, I'm an empath. I healed from my trauma. I am very kind and very giving from nature. I'm a good neutral, which means that I'll always do good, even if it means, breaking the normal standards of what good are, right? I really sat down with myself and asked, who am I? How do I become myself if I don't know who I am? And I wrote down my values. My values are sustainability, accessibility. I wrote down my looks, right? The other tips. I really honed in and asked myself, who am I and what do I want to be? And I know that I want to be myself at my true core because that's what I'm being pulled to. And if you're watching this episode, you're being pulled to do it too. So make sure to try these 3 tips and really, really find yourself. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you found yourself, are finding yourself, or if you're just starting. I have found myself, and I created this episode in the show specifically to help others find themselves too. My name again is Mikayla Rosabeth. This is the Rosabeth Mooon Motivation show and channel. And I post on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Like I said in the beginning, my entire mission is to help people in their self-help journey become successful. And I did it because I had to also experience, heal, and now I can teach you how to heal from trauma. Please check out in the next episodes. Please subscribe, hit that bell, notifications, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a good one, okay?